goal of this video is to show how you can narrow your searches in OneSearch in a systematic way that actually helps you get better results as you narrow. So my example search is going to be about children whose parents are incarcerated. I want to find out kind of what the impact is on children. So I'm going to type in children psychology, because I think that's the kind of impact I'm looking for. Incarcerated parents. Notice what I did not do in this search, and that is I did not form it as a question. I'm just writing down the keywords that are part of that search. And when I get my results, I see there's 40,000, which is good. It's not 0 or 10 or something where I might have a spelling issue or something else. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look for two kinds of terms. I want to find out what they call incarcerated parents, and I also want to find out what kinds of psychological impacts come up when I do this search. So I already see right away and this is where I'm looking in the subjects down here. Not so much the titles, the subjects, because the subject have some powerful force in narrowing your search. These are the terms that they use to describe what we're looking for. So adjustment is one of those terms that might be useful for psychology. But I'm going to come back to that because the first thing I want to do is just glance through several of these results and see what they call incarcerated parents. So I don't see anything in this one. I see parents, but I don't see anything about, and I see prisoners, but I don't see anything that kind of puts those two terms together. In the second one, again, I see parents and prisoners, but I don't see anything that puts the two together. In the third one, I see children of prisoners. That actually puts two of our search terms together, children and incarcerated parents. So I like that because the focus is on the children. So I'm still looking for terms related to that. Prisoners, parents again, children of prisoners. So it's coming up, fairly regularly. So I'm going to use that term to and replace incarcerated parents with that term. So I'm gonna put it in quotes because I want those words together in that exact order. If I don't put it in quotes, my search says find any document that has the words children and of and prisoners in it, but they don't have to be in that order. So now look what's happened in my search. I already have children captured in this idea of children of prisoners, so I can take out this children. And just doing that will probably narrow my search a lot. So I go from 40,000 to 1,200 and something, so that's pretty good. Now let's look at the results just a little bit and see if we're on track. Risk and resilience in children of prisoners, that's on track. Children of male prisoners, the free mother's perspective. Ambiguous loss, post-traumatic stress in school-age children of prisoners. So children of prisoners is our term there. And okay, so I'm really liking that. I like that term. Now I can start to look at other words for psychology. So I'm getting bereavement, deprivation, post-traumatic stress disorder. I like that one. Let's look at post-traumatic stress disorder in children. That's their term. So that's an overlap with this other one, but that's okay. So again, I'm going to put that in quotes, and I'm going to make sure there's a space between those. So I've got post-traumatic stress disorder in children as a subject, as a term rather, and children of prisoners. So I can search that, and I just get 8 results. Now these might be very good results. Maybe exactly what I'm looking for. However, that's very few, and that's okay, and that happens sometimes, but that just tells me that those two topics together don't produce a lot of results. So now I'm going to try going back and trying another term. Now, I remember adjustment was a good, was a promising term. Another psychological kind of reality. So, and here's something that's on track. Here's something that's on track. So what's pretty obvious is that children of prisoners really helps as a search. And there's another way I can narrow this now. So this, putting it in quotes, says find any mention of this term. If I actually make this, that's a keyword search though still. Just find the term or the word. If I go to advanced search now though, I can say only give me articles. Let me put adjustment on a separate line. All the terms, when you do an advanced search, all the terms go on separate lines. So if children of prisoners is one term, adjustment is another. If I just do a search now, it will say, give me any documents that have this word in it and this term in it. It doesn't mean anything else. But I know that these are both subjects. So what I want to do next is think about, okay, what's the main subject of my search? And I think it's children of prisoners. You might disagree, but have a reason to identify one. So I'm going to make that a subject search. So now, instead of just giving me documents where that's mentioned, I'm saying only give me documents where that is a main focus of the search. So now if I search again, I'm probably going to get a lower result. So I went down to 231. That's almost few enough to look through just on their own. So then I'm going to go through and I'm going to look at these subject lists again, and I'm going to look for other terms maybe that are related to either adjustment or other psychological terms. And I'm going to write those down. So children of prisoners. So behavior disorders is one. Adjustment disorders. Adding the term disorders to my search could help. Separation anxiety. So if children of prisoners is a good kind of controlling term, I can try separation. I can try some other concept besides adjustment and see how I do with that. So I only get 15, but again, are they on track? Separation anxiety, it's the same article. Attachment behavior. Okay, so a lot of these don't have separation anxiety in the subject, which means it might not be a great term, but I could also try the term anxiety. I think that might be, some obvious psychological impact in children of prisoners. So I'm going to broaden that out, and now I get 300 results where anxiety is mentioned in relationship to children of prisoners. And you can see my results are pretty on track here. So now at this point, when I feel like I've got pretty good results, I can start opening the individual articles and looking to see what looks useful to me. So again, the process: try an opening search, identify terms that they use instead of the terms that you use, and replace those in your original search. Look for a subject that can be a controlling idea in your search, and then you just switch out terms that go along with that controlling term. So behavior disorders was another one of those subject terms. I'm just going to search that. And so then you're just tweaking by changing the term that's not a controlling term. And you're probably going to continue to get pretty good results because you've found a good controlling idea. That doesn't always work. You can't always find a good controlling idea, but when you can, that's really the best strategy.